Hello, dirty trucking. Ah, man. I told you how Hertz took that money out of my account and I never got it back. And I've been monitoring my account with these rental car payments. And I need you to listen and listen good. Because I think they really stealing still and pretending and passing it off as a last week payment. Because I've been monitoring my account now. Because of the stealing out the other bank, I switched it. I made some changes. So now, this started around, let me give you a little backstory. This started back around November, after Thanksgiving, when they had this so-called computer glitch, when that money, that $367.55 came out my account. You know, people remember that. You can just repeat that real well, $367.55. You know when money come up, it was exactly $367.55. You don't forget that. So, I never got that back. Now, I've been monitoring what happens. Let me give you a little feedback, feeling of how, after they told me about this system glitch. It's something with their system, and their system doing something weird to where it's making me think you've been stealing an extra payment from me. So, I want you to listen to this. I want you to listen good. I want you to hear how people steal, and you don't think they're stealing, but they is stealing. I think they're stealing, and still been stealing. Okay, I'm going to give you a little feedback now. I told you how Uber had interfered with my income with that riders and caused me to be late with my rent. So finally got the rent in. Now we gonna backtrack to the week, the date of the 10th. The 10th, I get the rent all in. I had to pay the late fee. That's what they caused me. It was $75 extra in a late fee that I end up having to pay again. So on the 10th was a Sunday. So whatever that Tuesday was of before the 10th is when I made a rental car payment. And this is what I've been noticing. Hertz rental car payment is made on Tuesday. And approximately about Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, about 3 days later, about Friday, it pops back up in the account. Now, I made the payment. They took the payment. It was subtracted, it's gone. Then about 3 days later, it pops back up in the account. And it sits there. So, I need to get my rent in. So, I'm going to use this payment. Listen good what I'm doing here. I need to get my rent in because I told them a date I was going to get it in. And I need to get it in. So, it popped back up. So, I use that to put with the rent to get the rent in on Sunday. And then I goes back and replace the money back in there. So, when they take it out, it's there. My system saw it works. So, listen now. I used that rental car payment on the 10th. The 10th. Remember now, the 10th. Now, it popped back up in the account. I want to say the 10th was Sunday. I want to say Friday, which would have been the 8th. From a payment, okay, a Friday was the 8th, 765. Let me see, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday. So the 5th would have been probably Tuesday. So this is a payment that was made on March 5th for the rental car. Pops back up into the account on the 8th. Now, I had to use it on the 10th to throw with the rent real quick to get it in by the date I told them I was going to get it in, which I ended up getting it in a couple hours later. I told them that really that Saturday, it was early that Sunday, because when I get off, it's the next day. So I used that money that popped back up to put with the rent, because I have a separate thing to use for my car rental, because I've been monitoring this. I don't want it mixed with my money. I got it on a different card. I want to pay attention to what's going on here, because I think they're stealing. So remember now, the 5th, I made the car rental payment. The 8th, it popped back up in the account. Now, when it popped back up in the account, I used it to pay the remaining what I owed on the rent to get the rent in. Then I gets the money back and put it back in the account. But I didn't this time. I wanted to see if it popped back up or how long it's going to take for them to take it out. I didn't this time, because I think they're taking my money. So on the 10th, I used that money to put with the rent, to get my rent caught up. So I want you to listen good. Now, the next rental car payment came out the following Tuesday. That money never popped back up in the account. We into the next Tuesday. That money never popped back up in the account. Now, today is the 22nd. I wake up to that card being in a negative because the money popped up in there. I only use that card for the rental payment because I'm monitoring something. Because when it was mixed with my money, I couldn't tell if they were stealing or not. So I used that card for the rental payment. Now, I called customer service today. I said, I don't know what's going on here, that when you make the rental car payment, it pops back up in the account. And then weeks later, you all of a sudden resubmit it to get the payment. Which advertently, if you're not paying attention, will overdraw your account. If you're not paying attention, because they're going to tell you spent it. Because it popped back up in the account. Now, no other merchant in 2023 or 2024 is doing this. I've been using debit cards for years. No other merchant has been doing this. And Hertz Billing didn't start doing this until after that story of that computer glitch. All of a sudden, they claiming the payment popped back up in the account and I must have spent it. So I had to get up the money to replace that. So this time I didn't. I wanted to see something. I kept checking my account every day to see if they resubmitted. And when they do, I'll put the money over in there. They didn't. From the 10th until the day, 12 days later, from the time I used it, 14 days from the time it popped back up in the account. And I think it was approximately 14, 15, 16, maybe 16 days from the time the initial payment was made that it popped back up in the account. So now I want you to listen to what customer service tells me. I said, look, I'm sick of this. This rental car payment you get on Tuesday, then it pops back up in the account, and then you end up resubmitting it weeks later. He said, there's nothing we can do about that. That's the way the system is set up now. That's the way the system is. Oh, that's where your system is. He said it's the last week payment. But it's not last week payment. It's not last week payment. I've been monitoring that bank account from the time I used it on the 10th to see if they put it back in. Because when they do, it's going to overdraw the account. That's how I catch them. 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st. It wasn't put back in. Until this morning, I wake up. Bam! Here's a request for the rental car payment. They claim it's for last week, but it's not for last week. So, they making it look like this is last week payment, which it ain't. This is a payment I used back on the 10th. A payment that was made on the 5th. Now, they're claiming, and now my other future payments, the payments I just recently made, I haven't seen them pop back up in the account. Two weeks, I haven't seen them pop back up in the account. For 2 whole weeks, they haven't popped back up in the account. Because if they did, the payment for last week would have popped up last Friday and would be in the account now. And then when this popped up, it would have covered it. But it didn't. 2 whole weeks, not one payment I made popped back up in the account. All of a sudden, the payment from the 5th, damn near 3 weeks ago, pops back up on the 8th. I used it on the 10th, and they don't resubmit it until now. But the next 2 payments ain't popped back up. And I've been noticing that. I will check the account. I'll make a payment, and then I'll watch it pop back up. And then by the next week, it will come back out, because it'll be resubmitted and pop back up again. But I've been signing on and watching my account. I have not seen that money pop back up, because it would have overdrawn my account. I've been keeping little to nothing in there to catch this. So now, I don't know if I'm tripping, I'm seeing things, but to me, this looks like some sort of ghost payment. They're making it appear as a last week payment, but this is something I used back on the 10th that just popped up just now. What you think? I think they stealing. I think they're getting an extra payment from me, like they got that $367.55. What you think?